play out a 2-2 tie with the team of AC Milan. And at the same time, also in German Bundesliga, the same scoreline was registered. Not the same scoreline, rather the biggest scoreline was registered in German Bundesliga, as we saw the team of Bayern Munich running riot over Darmstadt, demolishing them by 8-0. And in French League 1, Paris Saint-Germain won their game up against Brest, but they could not go on top of the log, as we can still see the team that's maintaining the log right now is the team that's Nice. And also nationally, some of the stories that are coming from Bet Powerful for Big League on the Parka played the game, how it happened. We'll be talking about that one. The game between Calvary and Ndeje University, of course, was postponed. And equally in Star Times Uganda Premier League, match day 6 is returning on the way. And tomorrow, the teams that are sitting in the relegation zone, the last two that's on the Paraka, not on the Paraka, rather the team of Arue Hill Sports Club, actually they will be tussling it out with the team of KCA. But this game is not today, but the game is tomorrow. I am not alone in the studio. I am together with Susie Linda. Susie, you are most welcome. After a long period of time, you're welcome back.
Thank you so much, Benson, and good afternoon, Benson. Like you've said, it has been quite some time, a number of good weeks that I've not been away, that I've been away actually, and here I am back, very healthy, rejuvenated, and thanks for the prayers. I was off on sick leave, but I am here now very healthy and ready to digest down every other sports activity. Like you said, the weekend was very interesting, and it was very disappointing, especially for Chelsea fans. And if you support Chelsea internationally and Onduparaka locally, and also Manchester United and Onduparaka, trust me, guys went through a lot of ulcers. It was a very bad one for them. And you're most welcome. A very splendid afternoon.
Thanks God, God is great, and you have recovered, and you are welcome back on the board. So many fans, of course, they missed you, and this is Whistle Time that comes on your way from Mondays to Saturdays from the hour of 2 p.m. up to the hour of 3 p.m. and it is the first edition for this week, and today is already 30th of October and the year is 2023. That means we are only left with a day, that's tomorrow, to finalize this particular month of October, and after this one we will be getting into the month of November. Let's start the discussion with the off-script, where of course over the weekend it was on Saturday. There was a game actually between the University of Umoni and the Makerere University. Remember, they have been pitted in Group C alongside the other universities like Tiambogo University. You talk about Makerere University, I've just mentioned. Muni University is also in the mix, not forgetting about it, that's Ndeje University. And these games actually they have been continuing in a good manner. And of course the university that's based in West Nile region, particularly in Arua City, they were the home side up against Makerere University, where of course they conceded a goal in the first stanza of the game. Written in the second half, of course, they had to come from 2 goals down to see that 1 goal rather down to see that they actually overcome Makerere University by 2-1. And now if we take a look at the table standing, the team, whereas the university which is currently leading the table standing in Group C is of course the University of Makerere, followed by that's Tiambogo. Then third on the log is of course Muni University, and the rock bottom university is of course Ndeje University. Ndeje University, they are having 2 points. Meanwhile, Muni University, out of the games they have played, winning 1, drawing 1. Tiambogo, as I said, they are the second university as far as Group C is concerned, and the university which is leading the table in that zone, whereas in that group is of course Makerere University. The biggest talking point is all about Muni University. I know that they were underdog in that particular fixture, but coming from a goal down to see that actually they surpassed their giants. I am talking about Makerere University. I think this is something to talk about.
It was a very surprising one. Like you said, everyone actually had anticipated that Muni University was going to be beaten like they usually lose out. But this time around, I think they went down into the drawing boards and were able to realize and actually know exactly the weaknesses of Makerere, and that's how they came up from a goal down to actually beat the opponents. It was a very good one, and if actually they can proceed with that bit of zeal to actually to play all of the remain. But I think it's a little bit late now because the league is coming to a close-up. So if they had started with the same spirit, the same winning zeal and all that, trust me, it could really be a very good one for them. And I think this time around, this should be the second season that we are seeing Muni University actually taking part in these university leagues. So if they're actually picking experiences, they are learning. But if you come down from a goal and you're able to beat a legend, I would say someone who has been in the league for quite some time, someone who has established themselves in the league for quite some time, trust me, it's actually a very good one. So I think it's also quite it's a honor to hold pride in there is a Muni University, because this is where they come from and this is where we are. We are wholesomely rallying behind them. They did us proud. It was a good one for them.
Matches have already given the table standing to the viewers. The producer, that's Jonathan Opak, can actually help us to display the table standing on the screen such that the viewers can be able to know the fate of their university, whether you are a fan of Muni University. Actually, the tournament is called Pepsi University Football League in the country of Uganda. On the screen is, of course, the table standing. You can see the differences in the points. The universities that are pitted in Group C, the fate of Moni, the fate of Chambogo, the fate of Makerere, and of course also Ndeze University. Let's leave that one there. Let's go to our script whereby...
by the way, before we go to the script, aside from this, there is also a university league that went down over the weekend locally, by the way, within West Nile, where we had different universities taking part, competing amongst themselves. And this game started, I think, it started the other week, by the way. It went down for 2 weeks, where we saw UCU, that is the Rua campus, and then we saw MUBS registering, and then Bugema also registered. We saw a lot of other institutions within West Nile registering, and I should say the finals were played over the weekend, where we saw UCU, Rua campus, being the overall champions over the University League in West Nile.
Yeah, exactly. That is the point. We have been actually doing the discussion about the ongoing university leagues, regional and also national, and we are leaving that story. Let's cross the bridge to that FUFA Big League, where we had so many encounters over the weekend, and they'll still continue today with a game for police up against the Boma FC, whereby they are traveling away. But before we discuss the game between Boma FC and Police FC, let's first kickstart the discussion about FUFA Big League with what transpired over the weekend in terms of the results. The producer, of course, is doing it in a quick way to see that he displays everything on the screen, where we had Ondoparaka being edged narrowed by Tigez Homeboys by a 1-0, and there was a barren draw, as a stalemate draw between Young Elephant and Chinda Boys. Meanwhile, Tetum, of course, had to share the spoils with Zinzanov United. It ended in a 1-1 draw, and Black Power actually, they were away to Karo Karunzi. They managed to beat Karo Karunzi by 2-1, and the Lugazi actually lost into the hands of the Simbali Heroes by 2-1, and the game between Ndeze University and Calvar, of course, was postponed as moved ahead, and we are having a game to be played today, and this game is actually between Boma FC and the team that is currently leading the table standing in FUFA Big League. I am talking about the team of Police FC. And this is how, of course, it's going on in FUFA Big League. But what has surprised, what has shocked so many people is, of course, the game and the result between Ondoparaka Football Club and Tigez Homeboys. This is the second consecutive defeat for the Caterpillars. Recently, they were beaten by Chinda Boys, a newly promoted side, and this one again losing into the hands of the Tigez Homeboys. Ironically, the two consecutive defeats, of course, they have all come against newly promoted sides. What am I meaning? These two teams, Tigez Homeboys and Chinda Boys, they have not been there in the last 1 to 2 seasons in the FUFA Big League. They have been promoted freshly from their various regional leagues. But Ondoparaka, this is now their third defeat of the season out of the 5 games they have played, and it has sent them into the relegation zone. What could be the problem? What should they do to see that they actually wake up from such kind of defeats?
I think it's quite very hard for Ondoparaka to win away games, and they have lost out but all of the 3 away games. They started the season on an away spree. That was to Black Power. Black Power beat them. That was the first win, and their first game we saw them take part into the result of the season. And then also time around they went 2 consecutive losses over. The one was the other weekend, and then the most recent being to Chigezi Homeboys this very which was yesterday. So I think Onduparaka really is not yet well versed with their away games, because they've not won any of their away games that they've actually traveled in. And whereas when it comes to the home games, we are seeing them win the home games. So it's quite a very bad one. They really needed to pick a few wins from the away games, and basically that is actually what determines your position, or that is what determines your promotion into the biggest style of football in Uganda. There is StarTimes Uganda Premier League. So if you want to traverse to there is a UPL, trust me, you will be having to win your home games, which is a must. And then also you will have to win a few games on away spree. So I think Onduparaka's problem is basically studying maybe the opposite side, the opponents that they've traveled to away, because most of the teams that actually they're losing into have no history.
Exactly,
in
exactly.
They have no history, and they've never met. That's why you clearly said that they have been beaten by newly promoted sides. So I think this time around, Onduparaka just there is the coach, Samson Sizo Kuti, has a lot of work to do. He has to get down into the books of history. He has to make follow-ups on the performances of these newly promoted people. Look at all the losses Onduparaka has suffered into. Okay, the one in the hands of Blacks Power, they have a history. They've met. But the 2 previous losses, one the other weekend and this current weekend, which was yesterday, like you said, there are no histories. They've never met. It was the first time actually they were meeting. So I think Caesar just didn't just master the performances. He didn't just master the weaknesses or the loopholes of the opponents, which they could actually use as a scapegoat to win them down there. But the game they played the other weekend, they first led, and then I don't know what happened. They picked the loss, and then for yesterday, first half ended on a good notice, and then somehow things happened, and that is it. They've been away for 2 weeks. I don't know if you were aware. Since they traveled for the other game, they didn't come back. They remained and played yesterday's game, and then I think they're coming home to play one game at home. There is next weekend, so it is a very bad one. Sinking and sinking again. They went into big league with the hopes of just being there for one season, and then crossing back to there is a StarTimes Uganda Premier League. But then, trust me, if this is how they're going to play, we're not going to see Onduparaka climbing back into UPL. That is it.
It's true, Susie. The other thing which is so interesting and amazing is all about the newly promoted sides. Actually, they started the season. So many of them, around 3 of them, started the season in the relegation zone. But right now, teams like Mbale Heroes, if you take a look at the table standing right now, they sit in the 3rd position. You talk about teams like Tiinda Boys, they are moving up. You talk about teams like Chigezi Homeboys, they are doing well. Unlike with the exception of only one team, that's Young Elephant, that are still into the relegation zone. Like you said, I want to repeat it again, Onduparaka is one of the big teams, not only in the region of West Nile, not only in FIFA Big League, but in the whole country. So they are slipping into the relegation zone. The only consolation I may say they have right now is all about playing one game less than some of the teams. Maybe in case they will play the match at hand and win it, it will take them to 9 points. And equally, currently Calvary, of course, they have 9 points out of the 5 games they have played. And I did say the game between Dedze and the Calvary, this game of course was not played, and of course it was going to be rescheduled, the game between Calvary and Dedze. I'm speaking about that one because some people may start to think, hey, where is the result of Calvary? Why have we failed to talk about Calvary? But a very big game also coming today. We need to give you a clue about it. Boma staying at home as they take on the team that's Police FC. Police FC, out of the 5 games they have played, winning 4 of them, only slipping 2 points. That means they're having 13 points. Currently they are leading the log, and they are coming against the Boma FC, and they are traveling away. Are we seeing them extending their unbeaten run and maintain the table?
Like I said, this time around, any side that actually is playing against Police should go there with a lot of fright, because this side, this time around, they have come fully prepared to gain automatic promotion into certain Uganda Premier League. That is very evident from the games that actually they have been playing. They have taken all their games very serious from the word go, right from the time Big League started. We saw them playing their games aggressively. They have all the zeal, they have all the ambitions that actually they go into these very games, and that's why they have been unbeaten in all the games that actually they have played. Whether they are visitors, whether they are the hosts, they go in there fully prepared to collect all the 3 points, and that is Police for you. Police, I think, actually started preparing way down when people went into the holiday, when last season ended. And we all know how Police missed promotion into sometimes Uganda Premier League narrowly. That was last season. They had a playoff with NEC where we saw the likes of Chitara and Barara gaining automatic promotion into there is from Big League into there is a certain Uganda Premier League. Then there was a playoff between NEC and Police missed out narrowly. So I think they still have that pain of how they missed promotion into there is a certain Uganda Premier League, and that's why we saw they were one of the most active clubs during transfer windows. I think they signed even the most proven players. They signed legendary players. They signed players that actually understand the Big League. You know, Benson, playing Big League is a little bit slippery. Big League needs you to understand the league. A Big League is very, very slippery. It's tricky. So you need there a certain category of players that actually cannot manage Big League. And then there is also a set of players that are fully proven and they can manage Big League. So these are players that actually Police went in for. Police signed in very good players that fully understand there is the league. So I think right from the time people were into the season break, Police already had started movement, and that is why we are seeing them on top of the table. And by the way, they are sneaking and creating that gap between them and the second person. And I think this time around, Police is just a plus. They are going to gain an automatic promotion, and any side they're playing for, I think all my stakes will be on Police, because I don't see them willing to lose out any point at any game.
Susie, the way the season has started, it seems this season is going to be an open season whereby any team can be able to seal the qualification to start times Uganda Premier League, apart from Police FC, because the teams actually we have been betting for, actually we have been rallying behind, they are dropping points so far. Imagine Mbale Heroes, a new promoted side. This time they are resting at number 3. So we are watching the space closely. The season is still going on. We are waiting to see which teams, of course, will at the end earn promotion, and at the end which ones, of course, will go back to the various regional leagues we have in the country of Uganda. Let's leave that one there. Let's climb up. And we talk about the top tier, that's Start Times Uganda Premier League. And match day 5, of course, is already over, and all the teams have played match day 5. There is no any other team, of course, that has not played match day 5. Match day 6, of course, is bouncing on your way, starting from tomorrow. Interestingly, the last 2 teams, bottom teams, Arua Hill Sports Club, they will kickstart the match day 6 with a game up against Kasasiro Boys. This game is tomorrow. Meanwhile, Bull FC will take on Das URA, and there will be a game between Bara City and Soltino Bright Stars. Vipers, of course, will take on Wakiso Giants. These are the games, of course, to be played tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we have 3 games to be played as Chitara stays at home and take on Das Maroons. And this game will be televised live on FUFA TV. And Busoga takes on UPDF. And the last game to be played in match day 5, of course, will be a game between NEC FC and Gaddafi. I want us to kickstart our discussion of the fixtures with a game between Arua Hill Sports Club. KCCA, right now, KCCA is at number 15th. Meanwhile, the team, not KCCA, rather, Arua Hill is ahead of KCCA. They are at number 15th. Meanwhile, the team of KCCA, they are the rock bottom team, last team. That's what I'm meaning, with also no point. That means the 2 sides, of course, they are not having points. And our producer, of course, is doing well, trying to see that everything, of course, the viewers, they will have to see everything on the screen. You can see the table standing. The first team, of course, they have been given a green light. That's a Chitara, 15 points, 100% record, no draw. All the games are wins. Meanwhile, the 2 teams that are meeting tomorrow, Arua Hill, they are sitting at number 15th without any point. KCA, the same thing, like Arua Hill Sports Club. what are we expecting tomorrow? Are we seeing any other side this time getting a win against the other one? Because the last few games they have been playing, the moment we will expect them to this time do something, they will mess again. Are we going to see them messing again? But since they are colliding together, one team, of course, will have to sort to the other one that I'm better than you.
This time around, this is going to be a very tight one. It's a very tense game, by the way. Both teams that will be looking forward into picking out their very first wins of the season, or collecting 3 points of their very first points over the season. And it has been a tough one for both teams. There is a Arua Hill Soccer Club, the only side that is representing the whole of northern Uganda. There is Star Times Uganda Premier League. I think Arua Hill will be looking forward into picking their first win, and also the same applies to KCCA, who will also be looking into picking in their very first win. If you compare KCCA and Arua Hill, trust me, KCCA is a big dog. Arua Hill is going into this game as an underdog. And Arua Hill, they've had a lot of issues. That we all know. And this time around, Arua Hill is home, but they are not home. So it's KCCA that actually is the visiting side, and Arua Hill is home. But we all know
on the paper they are the home side.
Arua Hill is the home side, but we all know they are not home. Parid is not their home ground. Their home ground is Marifa here in Arua. So a lot has happened. So Arua Hill basically is still in recovery mode, and they still have a lot of work to do. It's still a very long process for them to fully get prepared. Where we will say now, like, yeah, Arua Hill, this is the Arua Hill we saw during the first time they moved from UPL, where they maintained an unbeaten record through to there is UPL, from big league to UPL. So I think it's quite going to be a very tough one. That is for Team Arua Hill to pick a win at home in Germany. And I am seeing matches, we all know KCA sacked the head coach, and matches they say they terminated the contract on mutual agreement, but we all know the contract termination came in through simply because of results not coming. Man, KCA is a big side. You cannot tell me you're going into a league where everyone is expecting a win. Even teams that we are expecting KCA to beat, we are all beating KCA, man. Express beating Maroons and all that. So it's quite a tough one for KCA. But trust me, I think the boys will fully come tomorrow to West Nile, that is to Germany, are prepared to collect all of the 3 points. And I am seeing KCA picking the very first win for the season tomorrow.
Susie is going for that KCA win. The way I am seeing a draw in this particular game. And I love the other statement you came up with, saying that actually the two teams, their hands are still on a recovering button, but which hand will work properly is what we are waiting to see tomorrow.
The switch first is what we are waiting to see tomorrow. Actually, there's a lot of noise going on social media where people are saying tomorrow is the battle of relegation. And someone said these sides are both looking for points, so FUFA should just cancel the match and award, give Arua Hill 1 point, give KCCA 1 point.
It cannot come automatic.
But of course, that will be determined at 90 minutes. Those are just banters.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the game between Sports Club Villa and Express, Kampala Derby, this game has been postponed just because of fans hooliganism. I think each and every time we have always been emphasizing about fans hooliganism. The assistant referee in the game, Express of course played with the UPDF, which ended in a 1-1 tie. The assistant referee in the names of Fahad Sekaiba. This referee, according to the rumors, they are still doing the investigation. Some sections of Express fans, of course, on his way back home was attacked by some sections of Express fans, and this guy, of course, was injured, beaten up to the hospital level, and because of that, the referee body in Uganda, of course, they have clearly come up saying that they will not be in position to offset any game involving the team of Express. That means, and that is the reason as to why their game with the Sports Club Villa, of course, has been postponed. What highlights can you give about that incident?
I think it's a very bad one. There is a letter here from a Federation of Uganda, that is FUFA, where they have suspended actually all the games that involve Express. And the most upcoming, the most recent was supposed to be the derby that you actually said. And in the letter, it's written that physical attacks on match officials after Saturday's Uganda Premier League match number 38, that was between UPDF, like you said, with there is Express. Greetings from FUFA Secretariat, Uganda Football Referees Association. That is one of the 34 members comprising FUFA have submitted their complaint about the safety and security of their members while executing their refereeing role as a contribution to the beautiful game. Whereas FUFA has demonstrated the competence to put in place and enforce regulations against hooliganism and the fact that it is now criminal, National Sports Act 2023. There have been continued cases of physical attack on persons in and around Uganda Premier League matches. For the incident quoted by the referees, it is alleged that Express Football Club fans logically and unhappy with the decision of the match day waylaid them and physically assaulted them. The Referees Association has consequently decided that their members shall not be available for matches involving Express Football Club. This is therefore to communicate the decision by the Executive Committee of FUFA to suspend all matches involving Express with immediate effect until an amicable solution is found. Express Football Club shall be required to cooperate with investigations by FUFA and the authorities in order to identify the culprits in the shortest time possible. It is in the best interest of football that such culprits are brought to book. What happens if the culprits are not brought to book? Meaning the Express
it's going to worsen the situation.
Play any game for the rest of the season.
But the good thing is, on this planet, everything has its solution apart from death. That's what I can say. Let them do the investigation. But the truth is,
this is very bad. It's not a good one. It's not a good one.
Truly.
And recently, I also saw FUFA taking actions against there is Kataka,
which was okay.
I saw a lot of people being very happy and excited, saying Kataka has also been a repeated victim. They've always assaulted people where FUFA gets to keep quiet and all that. And I think if they're going to be taking in such actions, it's going to be a very good one. And they equally also needed to take such a suspension issue on Kataka, because Kataka has been in the Hooliganism Act for quite some time now. But for the case of Express, it's quite a very bad one for the players, especially the young players. Talking about
Alpha Salis,
yes. So the Alpha Salis that were very ready for the game, that were very willing to portraying their talent, to showcasing their talent. I mean, look at where they are. This is very frustrating, by the way.
True,
that's why I asked the question, what happens if the culprits are not brought to book? Meaning Express just forfeits all the fixtures within a UPL for the remaining seasons. People have just played around 4, 5 games, 6 games.
Maybe FUFA is going to take an action against them, maybe punish them in any other way, not now letting them to lose all the points into the hands of the other teams. Susie, actually, before we go for the break, brief highlights on the other point you have mentioned about the team of Kataka. It's true that everyone was very happy for the decision concerning the punishment of Kataka. The team, the whole team, of course, the club rather, was fined 2 million Ugandan shillings. Their coach, that's Godfrey Toldo, was fined 1 million Ugandan shillings because he was the very person on that day calling the players to come out. And at the same time, in fact, he has started receiving his punishment. He has been suspended until 19th of next month, November. He's not going to take part in any football-related activities. So we first go for a break. When we get back, one key story is both national and continental